Hey there, and welcome back to Utility Sports Plus. In today's video, we are covering the 2024 early NFL mock draft. There's a lot of players that are going to be going into next year's class that are supremely talented, and I'm really excited because this is going to be a very, very loaded class. Starting at the very top, there is a quarterback that is deemed one of the better quarterback prospects we've seen in quite some time. That's Caleb Williams out of USC. The Oklahoma transfer, this guy is for real. I think if Arizona's in this kind of position, which I think they will be next year, considering their current roster and where I think they very well could finish, Arizona will likely be looking for a quarterback at that point. Being able to trade away Kyler Murray for a ton of assets is going to be a huge plus for them. They're going to be able to rebuild the correct way. I see that Arizona could be looking to select a quarterback if they do end up having the worst record in the entire NFL. I like Arizona right here at number one, going with Caleb Williams. I don't have a problem moving on from Kyler Murray, trading him to another team, and essentially collecting assets upon that. You're going to see a lot of picks exchange in a deal for Kyler. So Caleb Williams is a franchise quarterback, and he is going to be transcendent for this franchise. Now, at number two, we have another team that very well could struggle, and that's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tampa Bay going into the year, there are some mixed expectations for what this team can be. I have Drake Maye going from North Carolina. When you look at him on film, super impressive because he's got a rocket for an arm. He's a supreme athlete. He's also a guy that has dealt with a ton of pressure. North Carolina's offensive line was not very good last year, one of the worst in the nations in terms of the actual pressure on the quarterback percentages. And I think that all things considered, Drake Maye did a pretty good job, but he is going to be ready for the show here. Essentially, looking at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Baker Mayfield is not the answer. I don't think that Kyle Trask is the answer either. Granted, we have not seen an extended period of play from him. I think all things considered, they very well could finish in this kind of position. So at number two, I have Tampa taking Drake Maye. At number three, we have the Arizona Cardinals once again. I have them selecting Marvin Harrison Jr. from Ohio State. This is arguably the best player in the class. In my opinion, I think he is the best player in the class. From what he can do at the receiver position, his athleticism, his actual technical route running ability, this guy can do it all on a football field. When you look at the preciseness in his routes, his yards after catch, his contested catches, all of those things culminate for him to be the best wide receiver in the entire class. I feel very strongly about this and overall believe he is the best player. So if you're able to pair Caleb Williams with Marvin Harrison Jr., this is going to go a long ways in terms of building up a true contender that very well could win a Super Bowl in the future. Number four here, we have the Chicago Bears, and there's going to be some mixed feelings on Brock Bowers because Brock Bowers is one of the more dominant tight ends we've seen in the last decade, in my opinion. When you look at what he can do from an athleticism standpoint, this guy is phenomenal at catching the football. He can do it all from the tight end position and is going to be a dynamic threat. They already have Cole Kmet there in Chicago. However, if you're able to add a perennial Pro Bowl level tight end at pick 4, I think, Ryan Pace doesn't bat an eye. I think he is aggressive and selects what he would be and deem as the best player available at that spot. Number 5 here, we have the Indianapolis Colts. Olu Fashanu is one of those prospects that you don't want to miss out on. From an actual pass blocking perspective, run blocking, he is the actual total package at the position, at a premium position. He's going to be able to play tackle effectively at the next level immediately as soon as he comes to the league. Combine his IQ with his athleticism, with the ability to both pass and run block. The culmination, once again, is for an elite prospect. The Indianapolis Colts have an esteemed history of selecting offensive linemen in the draft, especially early, and I don't think they shy away from it here at pick number 5. At number 6, we have the New England Patriots, and I think if the Patriots are selecting this kind of position next year, Quinn Ewers is my pick for them. When you look at the New England Patriots in totality, Mac Jones is likely not going to be the answer for them. I understand that early on he had some success. However, I think we saw a little bit of regression. I think that Mac Jones very well could be another trade piece that we could see Kyler Murray being at the top of the draft. And now we look at, Mac Jones at this position. Quinn Ewers, from a talent perspective, can make every throw imaginable. Short, intermediate, deep, throws with anticipation. This guy is going to have a legit season at Texas, and I expect the New England Patriots to reevaluate their quarterback room and select him here at number 6. At number 7, we have the Green Bay Packers. J.C. Latham from Alabama, the guard, very, very versatile, athletic, can get out into space and create a lot of havoc in the run game. Green Bay is going to look to continue to improve their offensive line. I think that will be blatantly obvious come this upcoming offseason. It's not going to be the perfect season for the Packers. We're in a transitional year between quarterbacks. So depending on Jordan Love and his development, this could change the entire complexion of this selection. But I don't see that this is an incorrect pick by any stretch of the imagination. J.C. Latham is extremely polished. He's going to be a very good player from the second that he steps on the football field. I think Green Bay is going to continue to invest in that offensive line. Number 8, we have the Chicago Bears. Chicago Bears, Kool-Aid McKinstry is my selection. When you look at what he's able to do on a football field, it's incredible. His hips are fluid. His ball skills are incredible. This guy can be a legit corner at the NFL level. Chicago is going to look to improve that defense. And I think starting in that corner room, it's going to go a long ways in improving this team as a whole. With the first pick, they ended up going with Brock Bowers, and then they make a transition here at number 8 and go defense with Kool-Aid McKinstry. I love this pick for them. At number 9, we have the Tennessee Titans, and the Tennessee Titans are going to look to improve on that edge spot, in my opinion. Chop Robinson, he dominated Big Ten offensives last year, and I think that trend is going to continue into this season. He's a menace behind the backfield. In terms of accumulating tackles for loss, he's got a good pass rushing bag, a very solid prospect through and through. I think the Tennessee Titans will look to continue to evaluate the defensive side of the ball. Mike Vrabel has his preferences, and I think from his actual build and what you see on film, this is a total Mike Vrabel-like selection. At number 10, we have the New Orleans Saints. Dallas Turner from Alabama, highly, highly regarded recruit. I think you're going to see some more flashes this year. You're going to see some explosion from him. He's going to be one of those high risers when it comes to the draft process from what he's able to do at the combine. And this upcoming season is going to be a huge development year. We saw Will Anderson continue to dominate this year. I think now it's going to be Dallas Turner's time. New Orleans is going to improve that front seven, and getting a guy like Dallas Turner at number 10 for as talented as he is a very big steal in my opinion. Following that up at number 11, we have the Washington Commanders. I think the Commanders are going to quickly realize that their franchise quarterback is not currently on roster. Sam Howell, I don't think is going to be that for them this year. Bo Nix, who continues to ascend up a lot of people's boards, is going to be on their radar, in my opinion. From his athleticism, decision-making, all of those things form for him to be a very good NFL-level prospect. It's crazy to think, considering his departure from Auburn, going to Oregon, the expectations weren't that high, and then we saw an elite-level production heading into that season. I think this year we're bound to see some more production as well. And I think with the current infrastructure they have at Oregon, it's set up for a nice season for him going into this year. Number 12, we have the LA Rams. Finally, the Rams have a pick, something we have not seen in a long time in the first round. Kamari Lassiter from Georgia, physical corner, will get up in your grill, knows how to press guys off the line. There has been an insane amount of defensive talent that has come from Georgia under Kirby Smart, and this is the latest rendition of it. In particular, in that corner room, we've seen a lot of first-round level corners being produced over the last couple of seasons from Georgia, and just a lot of guys from Georgia in general that get first-round consideration. Kamari Lassiter is going to be that physical presence that they need on the back end. I think it's going to be blatantly obvious that there is a massive need for corner heading into this season, and Kamari Lassiter fits the bill. Number 13, we have the Las Vegas Raiders. Joe Alt from Notre Dame, physical tackle, good feet and pass protection, a willing run blocker to get to that second level. The Raiders are going to have some problems along that offensive line. That's something that they've been currently trying to fix over the last couple of years, haven't necessarily been able to get it right. They've had Alex Leatherwood. That was tough. That was a tough experiment for me to watch. But I think Joe Alt is going to be the perfect plug and play guy for the Las Vegas Raiders. And that offensive line is going to be much improved, adding a actual presence like Joe Alt into the rotation. Number 14. Now, number 14, we have Houston, and Houston continues to make strides in the right direction, in my opinion. Now, when you look at some of the needs that they have, I think edge is one that is kind of obvious. They've been talking with Jadeveon Clowney. That could be an option. But JT Tuimoloau is one of those players that is a big standout on film. When you watch him on film, batted balls, activity in the run game, pass rushing big. Those are the things that stand out to me when I watch his film. It's pretty incredible. His ability to track a ball, knowing that he's not going to get to the quarterback and knock it down. He created a lot of havoc this past season, and that's going to continue moving into the start of the 2023 season. Number 15, we have the New York Giants. And with the New York Giants, there's a lot of things that are going to be in consideration here. I think they're going to take some more strides defensively. Jared Verse from Florida State could be a top 10 level guy when it's all said and done. But when you look across the board at his skill set, this is a guy that knows how to get after the quarterback, big physical frame, sturdy, and can absolutely hold his own in terms of containment. I think the New York Giants would be smart in, kind of taking this direction and improving that front seven even further. Number 16, we have the Baltimore Ravens. And now the Baltimore Ravens, Denzel Burke is one of those guys that is going to have to, prove to a lot of people that he is a first-round level corner. Some people love him. Some people don't like him at all. It really depends on the mocks that you see where he falls. But I think Denzel Burke has the actual ability to be a first-round level guy. When his athleticism flashes on the screen, it's something of beauty. I think this year is a big year for him in a very competitive Big Ten conference. He's going to go up against some really tough wide receivers week in and week out. Denzel Burke, fluid hips once again, good ball tracking skills, and that is going to equate to him being a middle of the first round draft pick. Baltimore Ravens are going to be looking for some more help on that back end. They continue to draft the right players year in and year out, in my opinion. It's incredible to watch their mastery of the draft, and I think it's going to carry over into this selection. Number 17, we have the LA Chargers. Now, Raheem Sanders is the pick here. Raheem Sanders is explosive, yards after contact, the ability to make a guy miss in the open field. And I think he's going to continue to make strides as a pass catcher. There's a lot of uncertainty with the LA Chargers and where Austin Eckler's future lies. I think they're going to actually be looking to select one here in the first round heading into next year. It's going to be incredible. I think this is kind of the stopping point of Eckler's run, and they're going to go ahead and select a guy like Raheem Sanders, who is super explosive and can create big plays. Number 18, now we have the Denver Broncos. Now, the Denver Broncos have some familiarity selecting guards from K-State. Think about Dalton Reisner. I think the latest rendition is going to be Cooper Beebe here from Kansas State. Super impressive resume. Had he not gotten hurt, would have been a first-round level player this past year. Cooper Beebe is an outstanding player, high IQ, knows exactly what's going on at all times. A lot of times, he's not making mistakes. One of the more impressive offensive linemen, holistically speaking, in the entire class. So to me, Denver is going to look to improve up front and try to build up this offense to get it to where it needs to be. I have no doubt in my mind Sean Payton will be aggressive addressing this offense. Number 19, we have the Atlanta Falcons. Leonard Taylor is the selection. When I look at Leonard Taylor, I look at a true disruptor. Putting him and Grady Jarrett in the middle of that defensive line is going to be scary. This guy can really get after the quarterback. He's a huge disruptor. He can absolutely blow up plays on a consistent basis. Miami continues to churn out really good defensive players, and I think this is going to be one of those guys. Leonard Taylor fitting in with Atlanta. I think they could also address another edge rushing position as well. Those are some things that I think the Falcons are going to key in on as they continue to progress in this new Terry Fontenot era. Number 20, we stay with Miami. Zion Nelson is the selection here. This guy is fun to watch on the offensive line. Good pulling guard, really, really good out in space, athletic, and can really create open running lanes. That is his strengths. The running game for Zion Nelson. Seattle loves to run the football, and I think that this is just the perfect fit when you look at player to scheme. It makes a lot of sense to me here at 20. At number 21, we have the Minnesota Vikings, Cooper DeJean from Iowa. Cooper is super, super, super athletic, really good in man coverage, finds a way to not draw penalties as well. And I think with the Minnesota Vikings watching a lot of Big Ten football here, I think that Cooper DeJean is very well in that first round conversation. There's a lot of people that have some questions if he's going to play safety, if he's going to be a corner. He has that versatility to do both. And I think that's exactly what the Vikings need on the back end of their defense. Now, with the next selection here, we have the Jacksonville Jaguars. And at number 22, I have Cameron Kinchens. And Cameron Kinchens can do a lot of different things on the back end of your defense. I think if you're looking at upgrading at the key spots here, there's going to be a little bit of issues with money heading into the offseason, going into next season. Rayshawn Jenkins very well could be a cap casualty with what he's currently making, which is around $10 million. I think Andre Cisco is there to stay on the back end of that defense. I don't have the utmost confidence in Andrew Wingard. I've never been a believer in his game. I know a lot of people love him, but I'm just not seeing the actual true upside to Wingard. I think he's a nice value depth piece, but as for a starting safety, getting a guy like Kinchens who can do it all on that back end, once again, can track the ball, can get up in the box and make plays, has good instincts on the back end. That's exactly what the Jags need. And in a conference where it's a lot of aerial attack, Andrew Wingard is a little bit of a weak spot if that's how they plan to move forward. Now, number 23 here, we have the Pittsburgh Steelers. Emeka Egbuka from Ohio State is one of those players that I think is going to continue to progress his name out there. This Ohio State offense is generally potent regardless of the quarterback position. Egbuka is going to be one of those players that is going to win with a lot of run, a lot of route technicalities. When you look at his route running ability, he's a true technician of the game. He is one that studies angles, has a true understanding of concepts in that regard. And I think that's exactly what the Pittsburgh Steelers could be looking to add in that first round. Deontay Johnson, George Pickens, and add Egbuka in it. It'd be one of the best wide receiver trios in the entire league. Now we have number 24. This is where it gets really fun here. Javion Sanders from Texas. Javion is one of those athletic, physical specimens that is, going to be probably overdrafted, not considering where his production level is, but I think when you actually look at the physical traits and what he can progress to as an actual player, Miami is going to look to add to this offense, and Javion Sanders is going to be the perfect fit, going to be a red zone threat and a guy that could potentially amass, 750 yards or 800 yards in a season from the tight end position. He's talented, and he's going to be an immediate impact player with Pro Bowl level aspirations from the position. At number 25, we have the Dallas Cowboys. I got Jack Sawyer from Ohio State, relentless off the ball. This guy's motor just continues for days. He continues to blow up plays in the backfield. Not the most athletic player on the entire football field, but when you talk about guys that are going to provide you 100% effort on every play, this is exactly what Jack Sawyer needs, or what he is, and this is what the Cowboys need, in my opinion. Another rotational edge rusher that is going to be an impact player for many years to come. Number 26 here, we have the San Francisco 49ers and Johnny Wilson from Florida State. Physical wide receiver, physical, can high point the football, and a lot of times is a mismatch nightmare. I think if there's one player that can really benefit from going into next season, Johnny Wilson is going to be that. The big frame, and I think the San Francisco 49ers need a little bit more juice from the wide receiver position. I know they have Deebo Samuel, they like Juwan Jennings, and I think adding Johnny Wilson could make a lot of sense. Number 27, we have the New York Jets. I got Troy Franklin from Oregon. This guy can stretch out a defense vertically, and I think that's kind of what the Jets are looking to have in this offense. They've tried a couple of different things. The whole Elijah Moore experiment, that did not go well in terms of an actual marriage. I think the Jets are going to continue to progress and look on the offensive side of the football. They've built a nice defense. Now it's adding some other pieces on offense. When you look at what Garrett Wilson was able to do for them last year, Aaron Rodgers in the fold is going to increase that productivity even further. I think Troy Franklin being a nice complementary wide receiver that could amass 1,000 yards as well is something that the Jets need to add into the fold. 28 here, probably one of the more underrated prospects in the class, Michael Hall, the big defensive tackle, can really eat up space. He is a disruptor in the middle of a defense, and I think Detroit is looking to continue to add that to their defensive line. A defensive tackle that's able to get after it like him. I think when Detroit considers what they need to do, obviously stopping the run in the division that they're playing in, you have Justin Fields as a true runner. You have Aaron Jones, you have Delvin Cook. They have to stop the run, and last year they were not able to do that at an effective level. They did a couple of things like drafting Jack Campbell in order to try to help that, but I think on that interior, they have to be a little bit better, and Michael Hall will get the job done. Number 29, we have the Buffalo Bills. I got Xavier Worthy from Texas. Xavier Worthy is an explosive wide receiver that will add another element of deep play ability for the Buffalo Bills. They need to continue to push the ball down the field, and I think adding a guy like him to Gabe Davis and Stephon Diggs is going to go a long ways in doing that. I've always felt that they need another receiver in that room, and Xavier Worthy can be that for them. Number 30, we have the Cincinnati Bengals. Kingsley Suamataia is one of those players that his pathway was from Oregon to BYU. I think he's going to completely hit his stride this year. He is a physical offensive lineman that can play tackle or guard. In terms of his actual pure strength, one of the strongest guys in the class. I think Suamataia is exactly what the Bengals need, some versatility and a guy that can hold up in pass protection. That's exactly what they have to do and have to continue to progress towards as a goal. I love this for the Bengals. Continuing to draft offensive linemen is crucial to me. I think that is an absolute must. And at number 30, this is a no-brainer. At number 31, now this Jerzon Newton from Illinois. Jerzon Newton going to the Kansas City Chiefs is a big deal to me. They have to continue to stop the run. They need another interior presence along that defensive line. They continue to draft edges. Now I think adding to that interior is pretty crucial. So looking at this, Kansas City should look to improve their defense even further. I mean, they have a very potent offense to begin with, but adding a guy like Jerzon Newton who can eat up a lot of space and wreak havoc in the middle is pretty crucial. That's where we see that second tier of the draft. Once you get towards, mid-20s to late, early 30s is when you'll see some of the guys that can really disrupt the middle, be even more valuable. And I think Jerzon Newton, in a league where running was a little more prevalent, he would have likely gone higher in the draft, in my opinion. Now at 32, we have the Philadelphia Eagles, and the Philadelphia Eagles go with Braylon Trice from Washington. This is a player that knows how to fly around the football field, and I think the Philadelphia Eagles are going to continue to look to potentially add more linebackers into this unit. A lot of people have been liking to see, more linebackers taken with this grouping. I think they could, potentially look at a wide receiver at the back end of it, but Braylon Trice is an absolute dog, provides versatility, and a guy that is a sure tackler. He is going to continue to progress in the draft process, in my opinion, and shoot himself into the first round conversation, more so in the middle of that first round. Thanks again for everybody for stopping by. Make sure to hit that subscribe button if you are new to the channel. Also leave a like if you did enjoy the content. We have a lot of fun producing these videos for you, so make sure you hop in and check us out here in the links below. We have TikTok, Twitter, all that good stuff. So once again, thanks for stopping by, and we'll catch you in the very next Utility Sports video.